I think we've done I think we've done 5 videos in the past on the subject of Milarepa, and we've dealt with Milarepa from the point of view of just basic iconography identification. We've also looked at life story paintings. We've also looked at 5 great Milarepa paintings. And then we've looked at some of the Milarepa-like figures that we find in art and that can be very confusing. And then we've also done a book review on the Cotton-clad Mila. Now, what I think is also important to look at with the subject of Milarepa is the study topics for painting composition. Now, when it comes to painting composition, we have several things that need to be looked at. We have to look at identifying paintings as to whether or not they're a single composition, a single painting, whether or not they're a single painting with the entire life story surrounding the central figure, or whether or not they are sets of paintings. And with sets of paintings, we have 2 topics, really. We have 2 main topics. We have life story, where the life story is rendered over a series of compositions with small narrative vignettes. And then we also have, for sets of paintings, we have lineage. Now, the lineage will generally be one of the probably Mahamudra lineages of the Kagyu tradition. Now we're talking Marpa Kagyu, so it could be a sub-tradition. It's going to be Karma Kagyu, it's going to be Drukpa, Drikung, Taklung, or if it's in very early painting, it could be Tsalpa or Barawa or one of the earlier Kagyus that actually have, for the most part, disappeared or become absorbed into the remaining 4 of the Kagyu traditions. Now, in terms of single paintings, single compositions, generally what you have is you have a large Milarepa figure in the central in the center of the painting, and then you may or may not have secondary figures. Sometimes you will only have a secondary figure of 1 or 2 of Milarepa's students who are seated down below in the foreground of the composition. Otherwise, you can have Vajradhara, Tilopa, Naropa, Marpa in the upper portion of the composition as well. But the main point is that the painting is designed as a single composition. It's essentially a devotional work. It may have been done for a funerary ritual as well. And so that's generally what you find with the single paintings that are devotional. Now, single painting life story, these are a lot more complicated, and generally they're larger, because what you then find is you find a central figure of Milarepa at the center, and then he's surrounded by scenes representing his entire life. Now, it may not be all of the scenes that you would find in the biography of Milarepa or the 100,000 Songs, but you will find all of all the major events, whether it's 8 or 12 or 20, you're going to find the key events in Milarepa's life, and usually they're going to be going clockwise. They're going to start at the upper right and move around the composition, the outside of the composition, in a clockwise fashion. Now, with these early paintings of single composition and life story, what you can also have, again, with the early paintings, is you have it in registers. And the registers will still follow the same clockwise pattern, but they will be in horizontal and vertical grids with small little vignettes assigned to a place within this grid structure. Now, with the later paintings of the life story in a single composition, they'll be free flowing. They'll be set against the sky, against the landscape. They'll be above, in the middle, and they'll be below. And it's a floating figure later. It's really a post. It's post-16th, post-17th century popular composition format. Register formats died out really in the 16th century. And then we went to the floating figure composition format style. Now, for sets of paintings, we have 2 main topics. We have life story, where the life story is spread over a series of 3, 5, 9, or 15 paintings. And then we also have lineage. Now, the lineage, again, is going to be a Karma Kagyu, a Drukpa Kagyu, or such. And sometimes you can have two figures per composition. Other times it'll just be, more often it'll be a single figure per composition. And Milarepa will only be represented in one of the compositions of the painting set. And then the other teachers within the lineage, be it Karma Kagyu, then you're going to have a lot of Karmapa and Shamar and Gyatso figures. And for the life story paintings, what you'll find generally is you'll find Milarepa occupies the central position of each composition, no matter how many paintings are in the set. Now, I have seen a set where this is not the case, and they sometimes will put Milarepa students such as Gampopa or Rinpoche also as the central figure, although the main focus of the set of paintings is the life story of Milarepa. So these are just the three different ways we have to look at painting compositions: as a single painting for devotional use, a single painting with the entire life story in it, and then sets of paintings. And the sets of paintings have two main topics: life story and the Mahamudra Kagyu lineage. So you can press like, you can subscribe, you can join Har on Patreon, you can also make a donation on the homepage of Himalayan Art Resources.